Jackson, he made the stop on the 4th down. He has 4, 5, 6 tackles here in the first half, and he has been a monster in run support.
Well, when you're a senior and you've got his size, I mean, he better create some type of havoc to the opposing offense. He's got 1 sack only this postseason, but in this championship, he's matched it with a big one on Anthony Herrera.
He already has 2 tackles for loss here in this football game. He entered this postseason match with 131 tackles, 3 quarterback sacks, 5 forced fumbles, and 2 fumble recoveries. My question is, why isn't this player being looked at as a man who could be critical at the next level? Malik Lovett has been great, but also is Trevor Jackson. Where is his scholarship offers?
Well, that's an interesting point. His scholarship offers are hibernating, we could say.
Yeah.
What it comes down to is he probably doesn't have the size, or he doesn't have the highlight reel that most recruiters like to look at.
Well, obviously, for a majority of these seniors, this will be an emotional event, the final time that these players lace up those chin straps. They buckle those things in there. They put on the shoulder pads. It'll be the last time that they play some organized football. But it's also important for the guys that are looking to move on, as this could be a very, very interesting showcase for them potentially getting to a D1 roster. And I'll give you a case in point. A man who we covered last week, or in the CIF Championship, Corona Centennial, Javon McKinley. He has been a great receiver for Centennial in his entire tenure here for Corona.
Yes.
But one interesting point is over the last week, when he had the stalwart performance against Bosco there for the CIF Championship, it was for that entire D1 staff, it was like, that is it. And he got 5 scholarship offers over this last week, interestingly enough. Oregon, USC, UCLA, all of those teams who didn't want to touch him, all of a sudden after a big CIF championship performance, finally gave him the offers. And I think the same exact scenario is here for Trevor Jackson, defensive lineman for the Eagles again, or for the Wildcats.
So he's expected to receive 1 or 2 or more.
I'm sure.
Sometime this week, for sure.
Well, we are at halftime, and we'll step aside and return here on the StubHub Center in Carson. It's a 21-all ball game, and we are in for a whale of a second half here from the StubHub Center.
Okay, so what did Tasha say?
Welcome to Mix Masters, your #1 choice for studio recording and post-production audio since 1999. Conveniently located in North Long Beach, California, near the 710 and 91 freeways. We are the one-stop shop for mixtapes, original beats, ghostwriting, audio mastering, graphic design, and CD duplication. Our pricing starts as low as $20 an hour, and all new customers get their first hour free.
Featuring a friendly staff of skilled engineers, the most convenient hours available, and welcoming guests of all ages and skill levels.
You can even leave with a DVD video of your session. So text or call for an appointment today at 562-355-2302. That's 562-355-2302. Or hit us up on Facebook at www.facebook.com/Mixmasters Long Beach. Mixing business with pleasure. Welcome to Mix Masters, your #1 choice for studio recording and post-production audio since 1999. Conveniently located in North Long Beach, California, near the 710 and 91 freeways. We are the one-stop shop for mixtapes, original beats, ghostwriting, audio mastering, graphic design, and CD duplication. Our pricing starts as low as $20 an hour, and all new customers get their first hour free.
Featuring a friendly staff of skilled engineers, the most convenient hours available, and welcoming guests of all ages and skill levels.
You can even leave with a DVD video of your session. So text or call for an appointment today at 562-355-2302. That's 562-355-2302. Or hit us up on Facebook at www.facebook.com/Mixmasters Long Beach. Mixing business with pleasure. Welcome to Mixmasters, your number one choice for studio recording and post-production audio since 1999. Conveniently located in North Long Beach, California, near the 710 and 91 freeways. We are the one-stop shop for mixtapes, original beats, ghostwriting, audio mastering, graphic design, and CD duplication. Our pricing starts as low as $20 an hour, and all new customers get their first hour free.
Featuring a friendly staff of skilled engineers, the most convenient hours available, and welcoming guests of all ages and skill levels.
You can even leave with a DVD video of your session. So text or call for an appointment today at 562-355-2302. That's 562-355-2302. Or hit us up on Facebook at www.facebook.com/Mixmasters Long Beach. Mixing business with pleasure.
Well, hello and pleasant good evening here from the StubHub Center. We are at halftime between the Redlands East Valley Wildcats and the Clayton Valley Charter Eagles. And here we are, a tie ball game squared up at 21 apiece. And as we take a look at some of these halftime stats, I have been impressed about how Redlands, despite being outgained in rushing yards and total offense and third down conversions, still are very much in this football game tied at 21.
Yeah, fortunately for them, they're still in it, like you say. But the thing I get most out of this ball game is Redlands is holding their own. They're not expected to win, but they're scratching and crawling, partner.
And the big thing for Clayton Valley is that they have racked up 217 yards rushing, Redlands with only 23. And still, that running game has left so much extra opportunities on that football field. We remember the fumble for Miles Harrison, but not to mention that fourth down and short when they were unable to pick it up. It gave Redlands some free field position and a chance to answer, and they did just that with a touchdown to tie it. As we take a look at some of the numbers, Clayton Valley, and I think the most impressive performance of any of these state championships, at least in the first half, has been 24 carries for 151 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground for Miles Harrison, and not to mention that 40-yard reception for his third touchdown of the half. He has been amazing.
Miles Harrison is well on pace for 200 yards in this ball game already. 3 consecutive games with over 200 yards rushing, so only 50 more, and he's eclipsed that mark.
And this is a man that, with this production today, over 2,500 yards rushing this season. And, Dan, that puts him among the top 5 running backs production-wise in the state of California. That is amazing.
How about his 30-plus touchdowns now in the season? I mean,
yeah, 31.
31 to be exact. But talking about the Redlands side, how about Anthony Herrera, the gunslinger? Small in stature. I mean, 6'1", 175. He's not the ideal D1 quarterback, but here in this game so far, 15 of 26 for 174 yards and that touchdown right down the middle to Malik Lovett.
I think the most impressive statistic for Anthony Herrera, also more important than any of those numbers, is 0 interceptions. He had 2 last week in their win over Ridgeview High School. Fortunately, that football team was able to answer despite Herrera's struggles. But here in this football game, he has been able to distribute the football evenly. He got 7 catches for 105 yards and a receiving touchdown for Malik Lovett. But not to mention 3 grabs for Chris Vaughn, a couple for Joseph Harmon, another 2 for his backup target, Brody Arbiter. And all of a sudden here, this has been a quarterback that not only has all the confidence to kind of sling that football everywhere, but also is distributing it to other players on that football field.
This really reminds me of a chess match tonight. Redlands Valley, they have an offense that spreads the ball out. 4 wide receivers, 5 wide receivers at a time, and then it's the total opposite on the Clayton Valley side, a team that lines up pretty much in a goal line set, but the quarterback is lined up in a shotgun pistol sort of a thing. So, hey, it's not a mirror image; it's a total opposite.
It is
images of what we get from Redlands to Clayton.
Yeah, Clayton Valley in a 10-to-1 ratio has outgained Redlands on the ground. Meanwhile, Redlands in a 3-to-1 ratio is outgaining Clayton Valley through the air. So all of a sudden here, if you are this Clayton Valley Charter team, you just, I believe, you go back to what's been your bread and butter, that ground attack. You only had 3 pass attempts the entire half, and I think that beckons extremely well for their chances to pull away here in the second half.
Yeah, both teams here in their first championship bowl appearance, so it'll be a turnaround for either program, whoever comes out on top. But you got to give credit to the coaching tonight, to the coaches tonight, because check this out. Kurt Bruich in his third year already in a state title game.
That's amazing.
That just says a lot about his coaching and his ability to handle his players. And what he does best, he manages his superstars in a perfect way where he puts them in position to make plays. And I'm talking about Malik Lovett. How about him?
Could you imagine Malik Lovett, the kind of ego this young man would have? He's among the top 200 players according to ESPN in the entire country. ESPN top 300 recipient. He's well on his way to the University of Oregon, has received double-digit scholarship offers. Yet this man in the state championship has been able to tame that confidence and make potentially his most impressive impact the entire postseason. Over 100 yards receiving in, Dan, just the first half. That's his best playoff production in the first half thus far.
It's very interesting how Malik Lovett could have played for any high school he wanted, but he chose Redlands East Valley probably because he grew up he grew up in a neighborhood, but not a lot of recognition you're going to get being at Redlands. I mean, out of all the Southern Section powerhouses, he could have played in all of them, but he chose Redlands.
This is just an example, Dan, and you make a great point. Defensive tackle Khalil McKenzie, now I don't mean to thrash the young man. He's well on his way to a D1 university as well.
Yeah.
But Khalil McKenzie transferred to 3 different schools, high schools, in 3 years, as we covered the Folsom game last night. He should have played for Folsom, but was ineligible and couldn't participate the entire year.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Malik Lovett could have very well done the same exact thing, but he decided in a very, very impressive move, stick with Redlands East Valley, and I think, now I could be wrong, but that may actually bode well for Malik Lovett at the next level, to be able to know when it's not your place to move somewhere else, but rather to stay with a football team that is committed to their craft of winning. And all of a sudden here, Kurt Bruich, in just his third year, he got this young man to stay on the same page, and as in his senior year, Malik Lovett has an opportunity to win a state championship. It would be quite the story, Dan.
It would be quite the story. And how about the other side? We mentioned him here at halftime, but Miles Harrison, I mean, such a stud, such a star. 3 touchdowns himself for Clayton Valley. The Eagles are just pretty much giving him the ball and letting him run the ball all over Redlands.
Yeah, it's really been quite the first half array of running, if you will. Clayton Valley, they run 87% of the time on the season. And with the numbers here, this has been a football team that has passed 3 times and has run the football 31 times. So you do the math, that's 87%, right at their season average. Moving forward for Clayton Valley in the second half, obviously offensively you know what's going on, but how about the defensive schemes and how in the world they're going to try and counter the first half production out of Malik Lovett?
Well, first things first, for Redlands defensively, they've got to step it up a lot more. They're allowing Clayton Valley to convert 7 of 8 on third down conversions. That's a number that has to be immediately stopped. You're allowing Clayton Valley to run you over pretty much. And as far as the Clayton Valley defense, well, they've got to clean it up a little bit. It seems like they've had a couple broken plays, and that's what has amounted to 21 points. So they're doing a decent job on defense, but it's got to be cleaned up just a little bit.
Yeah, Redlands East Valley only second in the Citrus Belt League. 17 points per game allowed this season. Already given up more than their season average just in the first half. 21 points for Clayton Valley. 21 points for Redlands East Valley. But here we go. We're just about ready to begin the second half here, and Redlands East Valley will receive, and an opportunity here to take the lead for the first time today are these Wildcats. Redlands East Valley has had to mount 3 consecutive second half comebacks. Can they make it a 4th? That is the question that we will try to answer throughout the remaining 24 minutes of regular